Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the Shiny Ranker channel. Now I'm going to go through my Pendulum Magician deck. It's going to be Pendulum Magician Endymion. Now I'm going to go through fast as possible for the standard stuff, and the things that I need to explain I will. So first up we have Triple Harmonizing Magician. Pretty staple, Combo Enabler, 3+1 on your Pendulum Summon plus being a tuner. Then we have 2 Fang, 2 Poison, pretty standard, and we have Dragon Caller Magician. Now, this is it for the Magician lineup. You might be wondering why I'm not playing Pit or Oath. Well, you can't play any of the Magicians that require next Magician in the scale, because you're going to have Endymions in the scale majority of the time, so they won't be able to activate. Then from there we have Time Gazer, just for your triple chrono as the last Magician. And speaking of that, the Speed Engine, we have triple chrono, triple Dark Worm, along with 1 Gate 0 to go with all of that. I cut down Gate 0 to 1 because technically it is a brick, you don't have to play the 2. Even though I'm very comfortable playing with the 2, as they're prone to be another time when you may use a scale effect of this card. But for now, 1 is fine. The deck is subjected to change, it's fairly new, and in the future if you feel that you need to make changes, you can, because it's not perfect. Then triple Curtain Raiser, and that's it for your normal Speed Engine. Continuing as a new addition for the deck, we have triple Servant of Endymion. Now, most of you aren't familiar with this card because it's new. What it does is that if it's in the scale, it generates counters. Every time a spell card is activated, put a counter on it. Now, you can remove 3 counters to special summon this card and an Endymion monster, or any monster that can put a spell counter on, from your deck. Now, I took out 3 Master Servers to play this card, and the reason why it gives you a free advantage as being able to be summoned as well. So it's basically a 1 card instant Electromite. Not only that, if you have your Dark Worm, you basically put a negator on the field for free to prevent your combo from being disrupted, which is all said well and good. Now, moving on from that, the monster effect doesn't really come up, but if you want, if it gets destroyed, you can put it in the scale. You can attack directly if it has a counter on it. And once per turn, you can discard a card to put 1 counter on all your cards. Not really a big deal because you're not playing that many cards that require counters. Moving on, from there, what you're actually going to summon from the deck is 1 Endymion and 1 Jackal King. Now you might wonder, why did I cut Cerberus? The reason is that Cerberus cannot activate in the scale as long as it's here. Their effects don't work well together, because Cerberus and Jackal require no other card to be in the next scale, so it doesn't really work out well. And you get much further with this. Now, we have 1 Jackal and 1 Endymion. Now, if you want to know what Doctor Strange does here, it's the longest text in Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, so that's 1 award there. Now, if it's in scale, I'm not going to most likely use a scale effect, but I can remove 6 counters from my side of the field, summon this card, and destroy cards up to the amount of cards that can hold a counter. Now, this is not limited to the monsters alone that have their effect. Example, if your effects are negated, you can still pop. If a Jackal is on the field and its effects are negated, you can still pop for the Jackal and count it up for 2 cards. And this one negates spell and trap, this one negates monsters. So you have to be careful when you're building your board. If you're suspecting a hand trap, which in the form of a monster, if you're expecting impermanence, summon this. But majority of the time, you should work with a Jackal. The reason why is that keeping the Endymion in the deck will lead for the search card to have more opportunities to search for different scales, along with being a live target for your servant in the deck. So you should go with the Jackal first, because if someone impermanents your Electromite, is still better than getting Go So Good, because you have the card. So you should try to go with Jackal first. Then for the game plan, which is Goliath. This is why I'm playing this version of the deck, because I want to summon Goliath, because it's just an auto win against certain decks. Example, Salamangreat, summon this card. They don't have any main deck outs. They just don't. They just have to watch you. Their only out is the trap card, but even then, they're not going to get the opportune time to activate it, and it's going to be under protection. So they just don't really have any way to deal with this. So it's an auto win. Moving on, for your spells. For spells, we have triple Pendulum. Apologies, I wish it had Pendulum in its name. Spell Power Mastery. Now, it has an Endymion card from your deck to your hand. Then you add a counter on your field to every card that can hold a counter for each of this and your original spell card, which was Spell Power Grasp, in the grave or on the field. So it's going to count itself. And if it's this one in the grave and this one on the field, it's going to give you 2. Now, the good thing about this card is that it generates a lot more power later on as the duel goes on. And what I mean is that if you activate the first one, the second one is going to be more powerful, the third one is going to be devastating. They just keep going up and up, the power doesn't decrease. On top of that, it only searches for 2 cards in your deck, which is going to be Endymion and Servant, but it's still a search card, which is very essential for a combo piece. Then moving from there, double Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance is just there for a free counter. Not only that, you can search for all your cards with Pendulum in its name. It's very limited in the deck, as Pen Call, naturally, is one of your targets, but I'm playing a new card, which is Pendulum Halt. It's a Pot of Greed. Literally, searchable Pot of Greed. The only drawback on it is that you can't add from your deck for the rest of the turn. So make sure it's the last card you use, which is exactly what I do. So hopefully you draw enough to be able to go up for the next turn. So there's a lot of ways to generate pluses here. Please use your Electromite first and draw, then use this. Because some persons do it a different way. You have to do it first, or you won't get the Electromite draw despite it being mandatory. Triple Shrine. A lot of persons would play 1 or 2. I need to see this card. I want to see it over almost any other main deck monsters. This card is very good. And 1 Foolish to go along with it. I know a lot of persons are going to be like, oh, you can only use 1. There's a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You play 3 of, you don't even draw 1. Which happens to me, because I play 3 of this and I don't always draw it. But when I do, I'm happy to see it. Even if it's a 2 I find in my hand, I'm happy to see it. And last for the spells, which is the majority of the deck, you're playing 40 spells technically. Called by the Grave. Just to ensure that your combos go off. So between this and your starting Endymion, you should be able to get off with majority of things. Because between this on the field and the Call by Grave in hand, and remember, you're summoning this for free, you should be able to combo off at all times. Continuing for the extra deck, now we have first up for Fusion, the only Fusion is going to be Vortex. Then for the Synchros, Don Dragster, Clearwing. I might cut this card for Ignister, and the thing is that I don't have every single card to play the Ignister combo because I don't have the new Link Monster, Heliopolis. So I'm playing this for now. The Ignister combo, how it works is that you build a field and you can clear a board. Because you're going to summon the Ignister twice, and he can summon the True Dracos from... Not True Dracos, your Draco Slayer from your decks. Then you have Barrel Load, Savage Dragon. And that rounds it up for your Synchros. For Exceed, Dweller, Time Star, Cargorgon. Really staple stuff, really. Dank Rebellion, Absolute. That's it for all your Exceeds. For your links, we have LP, which is 100% necessary. We Apprentice Witch, Ib, our new card, Daybreaker, the Shiny Magical Warrior, is basically a Link Monster for 2 spellcasters. Now, it has a unique effect where automatically as it's summoned, it gives itself a counter. But you're not going to be able to do anything with that counter immediately, which is a drawback. Now, what happens after that is that if you special summon a spellcaster, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Pendulum summon, just a special summon. To a pointer where it points to, it will get a next spell counter. You can remove 2 counters to destroy a card on the field. So it's not ready, set, go at the start. Moving on, we have Electromine, really powerful stuff. I think this card might get banned in the future. I really hope it doesn't. I really just hope it stays here for Pendulum, because Pendulum needs something right now. Not right now, but as in the future. because there are going to be a lot more powerful decks. Never get too comfortable. The reason why I love Pendulum so much too is that the deck can adapt. It can change to go around the metal, whatever it is now. And the last card I'm playing, which is underrated, is Decode. Now, you should be able to fit a Borrow Load or Borrow Sword somewhere in here, but I don't really have the space right now, and I don't have a Borrow Sword. I'm not going to play a Borrow Load either. It's not going to get as far as a sword. And just my Judge token to wrap it up. So you guys can tell me in the description down below. I do take criticism very seriously. So you guys can tell me what you think, and I'll reply. Have a great day. Peace.